Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Mental Health. Minister, expressions of interest for appointment to the Suicide Prevention Council and the Aboriginal Suicide Prevention Council closed on the 4th of November last year, ahead of the Suicide Prevention Act commencing on the 1st of December 2025. When will appointments to these two key councils be announced? Councils which are responsible for providing advice to the Mental Health Commission in relation to suicide prevention, and when will their important work actually begin?
The Honourable Rose Jackson.
Thank you. I'm happy to update the member that the council's work has begun. In fact, they've started meeting. So the councils have been appointed, their first meetings have occurred. I attended those meetings, they're getting on with their jobs. The members of the councils are incredibly excited to be part of this initiative that really is world leading from New South Wales. Of course, there are a few other jurisdictions. You know, we're not the first, but we're one of a handful of jurisdictions internationally that have done this work. I thank the House for the bipartisan support for the establishment of the suicide prevention legislations. It's fantastic that we have done that we have established the councils, that the councils have commenced their work, that the early stages of thinking about what priorities might be for the statewide suicide prevention plans is occurring. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time for this very, very new framework to get off the ground. And in a way that is because we want this to now continue in perpetuity into the future. We want this to become business as usual for the New South Wales Government, that there are suicide prevention councils working on statewide plans and engaging with agencies on what actions they might take. So when you want to set something up for success, particularly when it is completely new, and as I said, we don't have a lot of international examples to draw on here. South Australia have done some of this work, Japan, Korea, Argentina, a couple of other places. But the reality is we are charting relatively new territory here. So we want to make sure that we get those settings and those systems right. But that is what has happened. We've had a comprehensive expressions of interest process. We've worked through that. We've now finalised the councils. They have commenced their work, and they will be, over the course of this year and next year, locking in what those plans will be, engaging with agencies on their action plans, and really looking forward to seeing the outcomes of that.
The Honourable Susan Carter.
Delighted to hear that the members have been appointed. It is very perplexing, though, why no announcements have been made about the appointments and announcements made about the work of the council. This legislation was announced as leading a cultural shift. It's very hard to lead a cultural shift if nobody is actually talking to the people about who is doing this work and what the important work is that's being done. I was fortunate to be in Scone last week with a group of young students in relation to a Legislative Council roadshow. I was heartbroken to hear how many of those students, when asked what is the major issue confronting you and your community, identified access to health and access to mental health as the biggest issue facing them. One student asked point blank, "Labor, what are you doing to deliver mental health services to the regions?" The fact that that question even has to be asked is appalling.